You're watching the Illinois Players Show on Fan Media Network. I'm Patrick Quinn, and that is Marcus Liberty. All right, Marcus, we have a lot to talk about. Not only does Illinois have a big schedule ahead of them, tough schedule, another one because it's the Big Ten. But before we get into that in another video, let's talk first about the MVP of Illini basketball, Ayo Dosunmu, and his push to become National Player of the Year and Big Ten Player of the Year, too. Now, I had an interesting conversation with someone. I have no idea who it is, but I do know that this guy is an Iowa Hawkeyes fan. And I was talking about how Ayo Dosunmu should just be crowned National Player of the Year, heck, Big Ten Player of the Year for that matter, right away.
Yes. I think I agree with you. Ayo Dosunmu should be the Player of the Year. And the reason why, he's carrying the team. He's got everybody playing great together. I mean, he's the leader, vocal and out there on the court. You can see it. The players look up to him. Yeah, Iowa, the big fellow over at Iowa, he has his case, to plead too. But Ayo is doing it.
It's funny you bring that up with Luka Garza pleading his case. I guess fans are pleading his case, okay? So, people will call me an Illinois hunk. I'll call this guy an Iowa hunk, okay? So when I made that statement on Twitter about how Ayo should just be National Player of the Year or Big Ten Player of the Year, here's what Matt Snitker said, okay? I'm going to guess that's his real name. He says, and he brought up some good points. He says, Luka Garza is the first and only player in the Big Ten history to accumulate 2,000 points, 800 rebounds, 125 block shots, 100 three-pointers. He's the only player from a major conference with those numbers dating back to 92-93. Oh, and he wasn't done. He wasn't done, Marcus. He was not done. I'm talking about Garza. Garza ranks first in the country in points per game at 24 points a game. Okay, we'll give him that. 14th in double-doubles with 9. He has scored 501 points against AP top 25 teams, the most of any player since the start of 2019-2020. So to that, what do you say to Matt Snitker, Iowa fan, on Twitter if you were going to reply to him?
Well, it seems like the Hawkeye, like he is basing it off his career.
Yeah. And that's not what the National Player of the Year
No, it's not.
is.
It's not. It's about this year. Iowa is up and down. They've been having some good games. Illinois has been playing pretty solid.
They've won 5 in a row. They've won 5 in a row. Okay, we will agree on this that they have put a lot of pressure on Ayo Dosunmu. But am I wrong saying that Ayo Dosunmu, that's what he'd like? That's what he wants?
He wanted that since day one. That's what kind of player he's been. It's just, I think Underwood had to see how he can go again with Ayo, meaning go against him, challenge him to see, what I can do and what I can't. And he figured it out.
I heard in an interview. Well, I heard an interview. I don't mean to cut you off there. Sorry about that. Were you going to finish saying something?
No, go ahead.
Well, I had heard an interview with Ayo on 670 The Score in Chicago, and he was talking about how Coach Underwood likes to push him in practice, likes to talk trash to him, likes to make him think that he can't do things. What do you think about that?
That's what I was about to say. Most Chicagoans, especially Chicago kids, they love that. They want to be pushed. They want people in their face. They want people to talk a little trash because now it makes them say, you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to go out there and show you. Now, a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of kids can't handle a coach all in their face. You can see sometimes when Ayo do something wrong and he comes to the bench and Underwood gets up, that face and Ayo be laughing, like smiling, like, I got you, coach.
He understands. It's kind of like as my wife would say, a love language, right? It's kind of how they like to talk to each other. So Ayo's family, his father, you know Ayo. How would you coach him if you were his coach?
Well, if I was coaching Ayo, I would pretty much do the exact same thing that Underwood is doing, but I also would let him. I'll give him a longer leash. You know,
Oh, you would.
I would give him a longer leash, you know, because I think most, and I'm just saying this from experience, most good players, or I can even take it to another step, great players, they're going to do more good for you than bad if you let them play.
So that's what you've seen with Coach letting Andre Curbelo play and make mistakes on the floor. Because I don't know how many times I've seen either in fan forums or on Twitter, fans complaining about how Curbelo's brain works quicker than his feet or his hands, and they get frustrated. But that's part of the growing pains, right?
It definitely is. And he's young. Let him. Now, if it's in crucial situations, then, you know, and I've seen Underwood take him out for a long time and don't put him back in unless, you know, someone gets in foul trouble, one of the starters, and he puts him back in there. Mm-hmm. But Curbelo has to understand that this is crucial. This is a crucial year for the University of Illinois because they're trying to win the national championship. And I think this team has a great chance of doing that. So you have to minimize. He has to minimize those mistakes that he's making now.
It's got to be hard when you're a freshman and, okay, imagine this. You're the freshman at the University of Illinois, huge campus, 40,000 kids, right? But you don't know any of your classmates. You've never been to a class because because of coronavirus, they all have to do things online. Have you heard about that part?
Yeah, and I also see that Underwood is making sure that the team is together. And in order to win championships, you need that. You need that bond. You need that chemistry. And I see it. You can tell the way the guys are out there playing. They love playing with each other. They love playing with one another. And
they're constantly looking around. And they're constantly looking for each other. Before we end this, we gotta give props to Ayo. He had his second triple-double of his career. And think about this. He's got in the Illini history, half of all the triple-doubles with 2.
Special. And to me, I think Ayo is looking at it like, I'm going to leave my mark. I'm going to leave my mark on this program. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another one.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked because there's proof. There's somebody on that bench that's keeping track of his stats for him. You know it.
Oh, yeah. Ayo, you have 9 assists, man. You need one more.
And I don't think that he goes out there every night thinking he needs to get it, obviously, but I think he's definitely making his push for Player of the Year. No doubt.
Even in the last game, it seems like Ayo was getting everybody involved, moving the ball. And then it seems like, okay, it's time for me to hit a couple of big buckets, and he'd go out there and hit big buckets. Even the game before that, I was like, this kid wants it. I mean, he wants the ball in crucial situations. Okay, the game is tight. Let me take over.
I don't think we've seen somebody as hungry as him since the 2004-5 team.
I agree.
And that's a good sign. That's a really good sign, Marcus.
Agree. Let's go, Illinois. Let's go, baby.
Go Illini. That's the Illinois Players Show. I'm Patrick Quinn. He's Marcus Liberty.
To host a player show or appear as a player on a player show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.